Hey everyone, so this is my April outlook video for the country, and we're going to start off as temperatures, like we always do. Okay, so March was pretty much average to pretty much below average kind of month in terms of like temperatures and everything. We had a lot of Arctic breaks of cold weather coming into the Midwest Great Lakes and going into the Northeast. Mid-Atlantic, and even like parts of the southern tier of the country. So we had a lot of snowstorms, a lot of cold, a lot of just in March and everything. And usually March is kind of that transitional month between winter and spring, and we kind of just stayed in winter for the whole entire month. Now we're seeing actual like spring-like temperatures coming into parts of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. At least for this first part of April and everything. But in terms of the monthly outlook and for temperatures and everything for April, it does look like that the majority of the places that saw below average temperatures for March are actually going to see warmer than average temperatures for April, and we're talking a pretty good amount of warmth, especially coming into the northeast part of the country and stuff. So New England, New York, going into New England and stuff, expect to see well above average conditions for this upcoming month of April. Yes, now, the first week of April, we do have another shot of cold air coming into parts of the region. However, after that, we are going to have a very nice warm up, and finally, things are going to start coming out in terms of spring and everything. Now, the rest of the country, it looks like we're going to have above average conditions, especially in terms of temperatures, going into the Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, and going into the Southern Plains, also going into the Midwest part of the country, and then some areas also into the Southwest part of the country. Expect to see above average temperatures. The only place that's going to see slightly below average temperatures are going to be in the northern tier of the Rockies. Pretty much the West Coast is going to see about average temperatures, and going into the middle part of the Rockies, average temperatures, and the Great Lakes region, average temperatures as well for the month of April. But the warmth is really going to be felt across pretty much the eastern third of the nation coming into April and everything. So finally we get to get rid of winter, and we get to actually go into spring. And we even may see like summer temperatures coming into the end of April. We may even be talking about 80s in some places at the end of April into the Northeast. So that's going to be a nice precursor to the summer months. Now in terms of precipitation, finally, we are going to have some more abundant moisture coming up from the Gulf Coast, going into parts that have been still drought-stricken from last year's terrible drought and everything in the middle heart of the country. We are going to see some relief for those areas. We are expecting to see above average precipitation amounts into the southern part, going into pretty much the middle part of the country, spreading over into the Ohio River Valley and parts of the southeast. That's pretty much where you're going to see above average rainfall. Pretty much normal average rainfall for the Mid-Atlantic going into the Northeast, and then the northern tier of the country. You could see below average rainfall coming into the southwest part of the country for this month of April. So it looks like that the southwest is going to be hot and dry pretty much, just like a desert would pretty much resemble and everything. So definitely if you live out in the Four Corners region, this April, it's going to be pretty much like sunny and dry and hot. So, well, good luck. Except the humidity is pretty low in the desert Southwest, so you won't be too sweltering hot and everything. But then again, pretty much the warmth will be confined to the desert Southwest. Pacific Northwest, usually it's like an average typical month for you guys in April, and that's what we're going to see in terms of precipitation and everything. Not a whole lot of storm systems coming into the Pacific Northwest for this month. A lot of the storm systems are going to generate along the Gulf Coast and just move across the east, going up and into the Mid-Atlantic and some parts into the Northeast as well. So that's why we're going to see mainly above average rainfall conditions for the southern tier of the country and parts of the drought-stricken areas in the middle heart of the country as well. So that is my April outlook for the entire country. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back again in probably about a week or so to wrap up things about the Cherry Blossom Festival and how that went in DC. Until then, remember to keep your eye to the sky.